Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers show that something is going on with Taylor Hayes, and we still don't exactly know what. However, we know that she confided in Life Finnegan that she didn't want anyone else to know that she was struggling. There have been a ton of ideas going around, including Taylor faking an illness as a way to win Ridge Forrester back over. However, what if everything happening is real and she is incredibly sick? Did she return to town to make amends before her last breath? And could this be it for Taylor Hayes? The worst case scenario for Taylor is that she only has a few months to live and wants to make things right in her life before she passes. It could explain why she showed up in town when she did, and also explained her illness to lie. This all seems to be happening at the same time, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. If Taylor is deathly ill, it would make sense for her to tell her daughter, Steffy Forrester, how proud she is of her and all that she has accomplished. While it may seem like a generally nice thing to say, it would mean something completely different if Taylor is dying. If Taylor is nearing the end of her life, it will have a profound effect on Steffy. We all saw how happy Steffy was to see her mother again and how much of an impact she's had on her life, even through all the drama. If Taylor passes away, it could completely devastate Steffy and have her shut down completely. Everything that she'd been building and working on could crumble at a moment's notice, and it would create a perfect opportunity for Hope Logan to take Hope for the future and turn it into something else while Steffy is preoccupied. Hope could even take the time to go after Steffy for everything she has done lately while her guard is down. Would it be a low blow? Sure. Effective? Absolutely. What do you think? Should Taylor just tell her family the truth? And do you think that it could be life-threatening? Share your thoughts, and remember to keep watching the CBS soap to see what happens next. Taylor Hayes had always been a woman of grace, strength, and compassion. But now, as the soft light of the afternoon sun filtered through the sheer curtains of her bedroom, she found herself facing the most difficult challenge of her life, her own mortality. The diagnosis had come swiftly and without mercy, an aggressive form of cancer that had spread far beyond what the doctors could treat. She had fought with every fiber of her being, but now it was clear there was no more fighting left to do. She lay in her bed, the room surrounding her filled with soft hues of ivory and lavender, reminiscent of the calm she had always sought to bring to her life, even in times of turmoil. Yet there was an unrest deep in her soul, one she could not shake, as her thoughts turned toward her loved ones and the mistakes of her past. Time was slipping away from her like sand through her fingers, and with it, the opportunity to make amends with the people she had wronged over the years. Outside her window, the garden bloomed with life, a stark contrast to the frailty she felt in her own body. The scent of roses, magnolias, and lavender floated on the breeze, filling the air with an almost overwhelming sense of vitality. Taylor smiled softly. Life went on, even as hers was reaching its twilight. But there were things she needed to say, words that had gone unspoken for too long, and she knew she could not leave this earth without doing everything in her power to make things right. With trembling hands, she picked up her phone from the bedside table. The first call she made was to Ridge Forrester, her former husband, the father of her children, and the man with whom she had shared a lifetime of love and heartache. Ridge, her voice cracked, barely a whisper. "I need to see you. Please come. It's important." There was a long pause on the other end, and then his familiar, gravelly voice replied, "I'll be right there, Taylor." As she hung up, Taylor closed her eyes and breathed deeply, trying to muster the strength she needed for what was to come. Ridge had always been the great love of her life, but their relationship had been fraught with complications. She had hurt him deeply, and he had hurt her in return. They had never truly found peace with one another, always torn between their love and the circumstances that kept them apart. It wasn't long before Ridge arrived, his tall, broad-shouldered frame filling the doorway. He looked at her with those piercing blue eyes that still held so much emotion, though tempered now with the weight of years and experiences. "Taylor," he breathed, coming to her side and taking her hand. "You don't look." "I know, Ridge," she interrupted softly. "I don't have much time." He swallowed hard, his jaw tightening as he fought to maintain composure. "I'm sorry, Taylor. I don't know what to say." "You don't need to say anything. I need you to forgive me," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I made so many mistakes. With our children. I wasn't always the mother I should have been. I wasn't always the partner you deserved." Ridge sat down beside her, his hand still clasping hers. "You did the best you could. We both made mistakes, Taylor. I've never stopped caring about you." Tears welled in her eyes, and she blinked them away quickly. "I know, but I never truly apologized. I let my pride get in the way. I'm sorry for everything, Ridge. For the hurt, for the misunderstandings, for leaving you when you needed me most." Ridge shook his head, his own eyes glistening now. "I was just as much to blame. I'm sorry too, Taylor. We were always good at loving each other, but not so good at everything else." She smiled faintly, a trace of the old fire still flickering in her eyes. "You always knew how to make me laugh, even in the worst of times." They sat together in silence for a long moment, the weight of their shared history hanging heavy between them. Finally, Taylor spoke again, her voice barely above a whisper. "There's more. I need to see Steffy and Thomas. I need them to know how much I love them, and how sorry I am for not being there the way I should have been." Ridge nodded, standing up. "I'll call them. They'll be here soon." As Ridge stepped out to make the call, Taylor sank deeper into her pillows, her strength waning. Her thoughts drifted to her children, Steffy and Thomas. They had grown into remarkable adults, despite her failings as a mother. She had missed so much of their lives, lost in her own struggles, her own pain. But now she had a chance to make it right, or at least to tell them how deeply she loved them. The door creaked open again, and Steffy and Thomas entered together. They rushed to her bedside, tears already streaming down their faces. "Mom," Steffy whispered, her voice cracking. "We're here." Taylor smiled weakly. "My beautiful children, I'm so proud of both of you." "Don't talk like that," Thomas choked out, his hand gripping hers tightly. "You're going to be okay." "No, Thomas," she said softly. "I'm not. And that's why I need you both to listen. I love you more than anything in this world. And I am so sorry for not being there when you needed me most. I wasn't the mother I should have been, but I loved you both with everything I had." Steffy wiped her eyes and leaned closer. "We know, Mom. We always knew. You don't have to apologize." "I do," Taylor insisted, her voice growing weaker. "I do. But thank you for forgiving me. You've both grown into such strong, amazing people. I couldn't be prouder." The room fell silent again, the only sound the soft ticking of the clock on the wall. Taylor's breathing grew more labored, each breath a struggle. She could feel the end nearing, but there was a sense of peace now, a sense of closure. Ridge returned, standing quietly at the foot of the bed as Taylor's children held her hands. She looked up at him one last time, her eyes filled with love and gratitude. "Thank you," she whispered, "for everything." And with that, Taylor Hayes closed her eyes for the final time, her heart full, her soul at peace, knowing that she had made amends with the people she loved most in the world. The bold and the beautiful had lost one of its most iconic characters, but her legacy of love and forgiveness would live on in the hearts of those she left behind.